folks, grab a paintbrush, have some fun, because now it's time for Painting with Lester.
Yep.
In today's episode, I will be joining videographer Tim Lewis. We will be discussing a tree that I will be painting. Well, let's get started. How you doing, Tim?
I'm doing all right, man. How's your world?
You've been working with trees a long time, too. It was like, you showed me some videos from the 90s.
Yeah. Well, I sort of started up with I sort of do gonzo journalism, you know. Mm-hmm. I embed myself into a subculture, mm-hmm. and big fan of Hunter S. And and so I just sort of started embedding myself into the Warner Creek campaign, which we did the Pickaxe documentary, mm-hmm. you know. And so I sort of took it from there, and I just wanted to tell the anarchists in here in town in the 90s, and WTO riots, and homeless down here and shit, you know, all these worlds that are a lot more intriguing, and that's where conflict lies too, right? Mm-hmm. And there's the drama, and there's interesting. Mm-hmm. And as a filmmaker, that's interesting, but also it's not just filmmaking, it's just something, you know, again, that I think those issues are right on.
And one of your movies actually got nominated for an Emmy, didn't it, or something like this?
It wasn't my movie, but I helped on it a lot. It was If a Tree Falls, a story of the Earth Liberation Front. Uh-huh. And it was nominated for Academy Award. These little bump in the sidewalks, and people could possibly trip. There we are. And here's the base of this beautiful tree. Here's our signs, basically saying, notice of possible removal. The sidewalk next to this tree has been inspected by the city maintenance staff. It was found that in order to complete repairs required to meet safety standards, a significant amount of this tree's root system will have to be removed. Of course, and there's other signs here, people trying to keep it. Yeah, this thing's been around forever. I used to put my kids up here. They'd run around on this puppy. Look at this. Gorgeous. So I would suggest we need to do some action on this son of a bitch to keep it here. Get people up in it, park cars around it, tell them to fuck off. We found out that there's a nonprofit that owns that building, that home, that house where Lee, the old man, lives upstairs. That's where I first heard about it, because he was putting them flyers on the tree. Mm-hmm. And I go, what the fuck? And so Lee's the one who tipped me off initially. And then I start checking into it. It's property management who probably made, you know, the complaint to the city, mm-hmm. and then the process began. Okay. And so that's how it happened.
What? Property management coming and deciding to remove things that we hold sacred within our community? They just want to make money off of us. They see a sidewalk as a liability, and what do they care if they remove an old, loved tree? Painting at night, spending time with this tree. There we go. First stroke.
So you obviously don't want to see this tree go down, and you've lived with it for those 9 years. And what's your feelings about all of this? Then I was walking down the road today, and I figured I was gonna tell a story about this tree in our neighborhood. And I did a video and I ranted and raved about how we got to save it and we got to go after E-Web and we got to go after the city and park our cars in front of it to make sure they don't fucking cut it down and everything. And then I realized that it has a lot to do with just what's going on in the world, you know, and I feel we all feel so impotent, you know, about not being able to make any changes, maybe not even in our own neighborhood. So I was ranting and raving around that, and I thought if we couldn't even fucking stop them from cutting a tree in our own hood, then what the fuck? But then I started realizing that, well, trees in the neighborhood, like people, there are old ones and there's young ones and they're diverse in ages and they come and go. And I am not sure if this one needs to go or not. There's so much infighting within these scenes that it's disturbing. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people just don't feel like they can have an effect. They're impotent, and so they start going after each other because they can't deal with the cops, they can't deal with the machines or the timber barons, and then they start bitching at each other and finding fault with each other. Mm-hmm. And that's what I've seen a few times in these scenes, and that I've seen that behavior destroy scenes.
Sure is sad thinking about this tree getting cut down. I'm painting without a sketch of the tree first because I feel like what I'm painting is the light pollution all around the tree. All the lights you see at night here is all man-made. It's environment. We've morphed it so much. We cut right down the center of the tree so these power lines can run through. So I paint the light pollution first, implying that the tree is vulnerable to our whim. The tree is living the way that we tell it to.
Alejandro's talking about the urban forestry and the sidewalk people in the city who both work for the city don't communicate. And so the sidewalk people come in, they got to do what they got to do. Mm-hmm. And then the urban forestry does their thing immediately and quick, but they don't work together and how they can work together and still have a sidewalk and a tree and how they can construct sidewalks. And so that's where Alejandro came in.
Lester. Alejandro.
But yeah, he was checking it out. He goes, look how many of the roots they cut. So I took pictures of it and sent it to Alejandro. He is such a great guy, dude. Fuck. Badass.
Yeah?
Yeah. Sweet, too, you know. So sweet. And the way he communicates with people, and he listens, and he's gentle, and he's just so clear. And it's, you know, like a lot of us will just go, well, you know, it sort of sucks, you know, really what's happening over here. And what do you do? Well, I don't know, but you got to do something. But he sits there and goes, lays it all out in a way that's clear to understand. You know?
Yeah.
It's pretty good to have on a team.
You think he would sit down for an interview about
would.
it? Yeah?
He would.
Oh, I'd love that.
I'm studying landscape architecture. I'm a master's student graduating this term. I had a lot of classmates who were tired of hearing about this tree because I just kept bringing it up. I kept trying to rack my brain for what I could possibly do. I looked at the city's inventory. They have a general understanding of how many trees they have. The city owns the trees. They're responsible for managing it. And they have it filtered by DBH, which means the diameter at breast height. So it's how you approximate roughly how big the tree is. So I filtered 25 inches and over because the majority of trees across the country at that size are cut down, often for sidewalk reasons. So they're the most likely to face challenges. And almost every tree I found at this size, it was lifting the sidewalk, and this was one of them. And the reason why this particular one was an issue is that it was reported. I measured the tree in detail. I looked at it and made sure that there was space for an accessible path next to the tree. I looked at the accessibility of the sidewalk underneath the tree compared to next to the tree. As I expressed both to the city and arborists actually across the state how much this particular tree matters. I was talking with the forestry department, or just in general, because they also want to know more ways to preserve these trees. They care a lot about them. Again, that's not always visible on the surface, but there are people who are trying to think of solutions. Actually, on both sides. There's a whole team brainstorming about sidewalks and another team brainstorming about the forest.
Sometimes it takes a knowledgeable guy to be able to communicate to the city. It's helpful to have someone that knows how to communicate, who to talk to, how to talk to them, what kind of science to back up what you're saying. And it's sure nice to have Alejandro fending for this tree, giving it his college try, so to say, because why not? It's a great tree. I'm getting so wet out here tonight. It's raining. It adds a element of vulnerability that I feel like this tree is going through. I guess I'm trying to express that through being out in the elements, being soaked, being cold. I'm working in acrylics, which if it gets wet, it just sort of melts, while I'm painting. So that adds to more vulnerability of this painting of this tree, I feel.
So what are you going to do to protect these trees, man?
What are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna do what we gotta do. We're not gonna let them do it. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
You want some news? The news
What?
we just got today
What?
was that the city's not going to cut them.
Huh? Won this time.
We were ready, though.
Brian came through and he was talking. He was looking
Yeah,
at
I
it.
just want to hold on. I just want to let everybody know that we just got word today that the city's not going to cut these trees, going to pour the sidewalk. They still think they're viable, so these puppies are going to stay up for, until they fall down.
Yeah.
Badass.
Hey, that's good. Hey, because
Letting the city know that you care about that tree. Telling your friends to let them know that they care about this tree. Because if the city is able to save it and knows that you love this tree, there are people there who will do what they can.
So things happen. I mean, if I didn't go out that day and meet this cat or see the flyer from Lee, who knows? They probably would have came in one day, unbeknownst to us, and hear chainsaws and cutting it down.
Real quick, I've also got a tape measure if we want to see how far these trees' critical roots go. Probably near 60 feet on either side of the tree.
Pretty cool. Everybody was ready. Even the homies on the street. Well, thanks to Sean O'Brien. He's a urban forester who came in and inspected the trees and made his decision. Thanks, Sean. And it was really cool to have Alejandro involved in all this. And so yeah, little victories, man.
Well, when I finish this painting, I'd love to show it to you.
Well, fuck yeah.
In my mind, I'd love to give a reveal. In my mind, the painting wouldn't ever exist without saving that tree.
Involved in all this, and so yeah, little victories, man.
So, drum roll.
That is so cool.
That is beautiful.
Disaster work and area strategies that I focus all of my career on working with.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So how is transit car that gets everyone completely involved in what happens in so what does that like look like? So transit here in town has created a position for me. I also just love the way that you painting. So like looking at ways that it's just incredible. Oh my gosh. It's so cool. Yeah, it's an honor to meet you too. Congratulations.
Beautiful.
Yes.
It's like trees can't really defend themselves from us.
No,
So
they can't.
there has to be people like you to
Well,
stand up
it's
for
gonna
'em.
have to be a lot more because Trump's coming after our forests now.
yeah.
You know, and they're going to be cutting down all these special places that make Oregon a special place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's where I'm going to draw the line. Well, thanks, man. It was an easy interview, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you're very good at it.
Thanks, Deb. That
Yeah.
really means a lot. Signing the first print. Thank you, Alejandro. This one's for you. Bye-bye now.